Good morning. It's May 8th, and I wanted to show you guys something kind of fascinating. What you're looking at there, you see there's like a pile of rocks, and there's dirt in the middle. And strangely enough, there's a leaf coming out of it. So what this is one of my wine grapes, and I've figured out a really strange way to make them survive the winter and grow good here. And yes, they do produce grapes, and I'm going to get grapes and maybe even make a few bottles of wine this year, which I'll show you. But anyway, what the grapes vines are is they are entombed in, well, first of all, there's sort of like a rock tower around the vine, and then the rock area is full of dry dirt. And we do this over the winter. And watch, this is great. Got to be kind of careful removing the dirt because there's so many little delicate sprouts. You don't want to break them off. That's the only trick to it. But we'll get it off here. It won't hurt. So we'll come around here. Beginning to see it's like a little tree. Isn't that neat? So anyway, I'll finish excavating it later. But what is the point of this strange thing that you're seeing? Point is that these are European wine grapes. They're not a hybrid. The hybrid grapes with the American ancestry are a lot hardier, but this is a true European wine grape. I think this one is a Tempranillo, a Spanish grape. So they're not even grafted, actually. They're ungrafted, so they're the true, old European varieties, which almost nobody, well, a lot of people grow them grafted, and that's a whole nother story, but I don't have the disease here that requires grafting. So I'm actually able to grow, the European varieties on their own roots. But my problem was winter kill. It's very dry here in the winter. It can get surprisingly cold, and there's a lot of drying, searing winds. So I thought I was going to put in a big vineyard here, and I had a lot of problem with the buds dying in the wintertime. And eventually, by trial and error, in doing some reading, and I read in some Spanish sources, I developed this method of keeping it pruned down like a small tree in size, and then each winter I build that tomb of rock and dirt around it, and that protects it. And it also protects it from early frosts because it already has been wanting to leaf out, but we've had frosts within the week. So if those buds weren't underneath that tomb of soil, they would have been killed by the early frosts. But now that I judge that we're past our last frost, I've uncovered it. And what you're going to see, what's extraordinary, is that this little plant here is going to grow 3 feet, 4 feet more in height. It's just going to explode from this unpromising looking stump, and it will be like a giant leafy vine, and we'll put some supports in for it, and with any luck it's going to set fruit, and you're going to see grapes harvested off of this strange little stump that I just uncovered here. So it's truly, I think it's a method I don't think you're ever going to see in a book or in another YouTube, but if you're outside of the hardiness zone and you want to grow a true European grapevine, at least in a dry climate, the way to do it is to cut the vine back to, we'll say under 2 feet high or less. 2 feet's a good rule of thumb. And then entomb it in dry dirt over the winter, and when you get your nice warm days in May, you can come right out here and uncover it, and it absolutely takes off.